Good evening and welcome to the November 18th meeting of the Richmond Common Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a prayer by Councilor Parker. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we thank you for our many blessings and ask for continued blessings of our armed services and for all the citizens of Richmond. Please help us tonight to make the correct decisions on these ordinances so that these ordinances will benefit all of our citizens and continue to move Richmond forward. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Doug Goss.
Here.
Lucinda Wright.
Present.
Bill Engel.
Here.
Larry Parker.
Here.
Ann Taylor.
Here.
Gary Turner.
Here.
Jane Bumbelow.
Here.
Justin Burkhart.
Here.
And Jerry Purcell.
Here.
9 are present.
Thank you. You received the minutes of the November 4 meeting. Any questions, comments, corrections?
Mr. President,
Mr. Parker.
if there are no additions or corrections, I move for approval as we received them.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the November 4th meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have nothing under number 6 tonight, so we go straight to number 7, communications from the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of quick comments. Demolition of the former Elder Behrman building starts really in earnest this week with the skywalk over South 7th Street. If you haven't been there today, it was down within about 3 hours and cleaned up, and the street's back open again. Will they close it again a little bit to fix the pillars and the concrete and the side of the parking garage? Yes. So they have permission to close it all week. I don't know exactly when. I don't know that they have the bricks to fix the parking garage where the hole is, so it may be sometime later, and they may just do that with scaffolding. So don't really have a good answer on that. But again, demolition work is scheduled 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturdays are optional until complete early next year. And on another note, next week, city offices are closed, the 28th and 29th, in observance of Thanksgiving. That's all.
Any questions for the mayor?
Mr. President,
Mr. Engel.
Ron, I wanted to check. Last week, I read the story in the Western Wayne News about the problem that the city and the sanitation department had with money being accepted and deposited in the bank. And I just wonder if we are pursuing contingencies to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And also, do we have contingencies in place so that it won't happen in other departments?
So if you'll recall, we were all on council together last year when that was discovered in June of last year. In less than 24 hours, a person was terminated, and by the end of the week, the process was changed, so it can't happen again. And then similar process has been changed throughout the city, so that will make that particular way of defrauding the city pretty much impossible. So yes, it happened rather quickly.
Okay. Thank you.
Moving on, you received minutes from the Board of Works for October 24th and 31st. Any questions? No. We don't have a department head report tonight. No miscellaneous business, so we'll go on to ordinances on first reading.
Mr. President,
Mr. Parker.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and read ordinance 64, 2024, and ordinance 65, 2024, ordinance 66, 2024 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinances 64, 65, and 66. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. President, 66 is not going to be heard this evening.
66. Okay,
It has been struck.
only have 2 to read.
Okay.
There you go.
Ordinance number 64, 2024, an appropriation ordinance authorizing payment for services from the Richmond Sanitary District, Roseview Transit, Richmond Power and Light, Motor Vehicle Highway and Park and Recreation Department funds to the general fund in 2025.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pat Smoker, the Richmond Sanitary District. Yes, this ordinance before you is for a salary interlocal. There are multiple positions throughout the city, particularly in the city building, that serve multiple departments. And as such, the other departments that get this shared benefit from these positions pay a portion of those salaries back through the interlocal. This has been a long-running process with the city. The last time this was done is in 2016, so what's before you is an update to that interlocal from before. So that updates both the salaries from 2016 to 2025 salaries for positions. There's some of these positions where titles have changed as well. Code enforcement has been moved back to the general fund, so it is tucked in here as well. These funds for all the departments, except a portion coming from the sanitary district, was in their budgets that came before you for the 2025 budget. The sanitary district will need to come back early next year and appropriate a portion of its funds, and this is a result of originally code enforcement was completely in 6601, which is the sanitation fund, and as it got moved out, so it's showing an excess in 6601 that will more than cover this. It's basically an accounting change for sanitation. That's what the appropriation will be for at the start of next year. Because it's switched into coming, instead of coming from its normal salary fund, it'll come out of its interlocal account number.
Any questions for Pat? What is the pleasure of council? Finance has not heard this, I know.
Finance has not.
Then I'll refer it to finance.
Thank you.
Ordinance 65, 2024, an appropriation ordinance amending the 2024 budget.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Kenyatta Cox. I am the HR director for the city. And in my role as the HR director, we cover and manage some of the insurance programs for the city, such as the commercial and workers' compensation coverages. So tonight, I'm requesting an appropriation for that said coverage. I wrote in the memo for you that the adoption of the 2024 budget last fall, they projected like a 10% increase in terms of the commercial coverage and for the workers' compensation coverage. And they did that based on the information that they had at that time. However, the numbers came in a little higher than that, so it ended up being about a 12% increase. In addition, we added properties throughout the year that also expanded that coverage. So the final calculations are what you have before you. And as a result, I'm here to request that appropriation for the $111,969.14.
Any questions for Kenyatta? If not, I'll send this to the finance committee for review.
Ordinance is on second reading. Did somebody want to make a motion that 55 is not going to be heard, or does that,
Pardon me?
55 is not going to be heard, so,
Right.
okay. Ordinance number 57, 2024, a general ordinance amending Richmond City Code Section 150.07 and portions of Section 150.14.
Good evening, Council.
Good
evening. This Planning Director. Ordinance 57 would amend the fee schedule in Chapter 150 of the City Code. This is our building code. This was last updated in 2005. So as I mentioned last time, the goal here is to just have our current fee schedule better reflect inflation since 2005, as well as staff hours, and kind of put us back up on par with some of our peer Indiana communities. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to address those.
Any questions?
Mr. President,
Mr. Parker?
on page 5 of 14, new and replacement of water heater, $25. Do we send out anybody to inspect that?
We do, yes.
We do now? Mm-hmm. Okay, because in the past we hadn't.
I was going to say, I'm guilty of replacing our water. I'm sorry.
You're on microphone.
That was my main question. I think that everybody else has reviewed all these. The other thing I would have on page 4, change of service or wiring for additional circuits. Does that mean if a person wants to add one circuit, they have to come in and get that permit?
Good question. I don't know that offhand. We'd have to check with either our building commissioner or our permits and inspections coordinator. As far, yeah, if it's just one wire being changed, I'm not entirely sure offhand.
It's, you know, on the next paragraph, it's complete wire is $50, and I understand that one, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would lead me to believe that you probably would have the $25 charge for lesser.
will we inspect that as well?
Yes, any sort of electrical work is
Okay.
inspected.
That's all the questions I have,
All
sir.
right, any other questions? All right, I'm going to put this on public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for ordinance 57, 2024, please come forward. Anyone wishing to speak against 57, 2024, please come forward. Hearing's closed.
Move for engrossment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to engross ordinance 57, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Call the question.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Doug Goss.
Aye.
Lucinda Wright.
Aye.
Bill Engel.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
Ann Taylor.
Aye.
Jane Bumblew.
Aye.
Justin Burkhart.
Aye.
Jerry Purcell.
Aye.
And Gary Turner. All are in favor.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to add, the Finance Committee did hear this tonight. We got to speak with Dustin, and he really brought us up to speed as far as the actual cost of these services. And, you know, this still, even though I know we had a constituent at the last meeting concerned about the more significant jump, but the 4 or 5 items that Dustin had outlined in the Finance Committee really helps bring the city up, but it's still under what a lot of cities are. So the Finance Committee is definitely in favor of this.
Great. It would be my observation that we need to be updating them
Right.
in less than 20 years.
Yeah. Very good.
19 years.
Ordinance number 60, did I? Yeah. Ordinance number 60, 2024, a general ordinance updating the fee schedule for the Division of Planning and Zoning of the Richmond Department of Infrastructure and Development.
Ordinance 60 is another fee schedule update. This is for planning and zoning. As I mentioned last time, this has not been updated in 44 years. So similar to ordinance 57, we're just looking to have these fees better reflect staff hours as well as the administrative costs that go into facilitating these processes. And again, just kind of put us up closer to our peer Indiana communities. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to address those.
Any questions?
Mr. President,
Mr. Parker?
on what would be page 5, gun permits, $10. I didn't think we even did them anymore.
I think you're looking at the ordinance from 1980, because you're correct. We don't, IND doesn't do gun permits.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
He probably thought he owed you $5. Any other questions?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Finance Committee also reviewed this after speaking with Dustin, same exact thing as the prior ordinance. This really helps get us up. We do need to take a look at this more frequently, but we move to approve this as well.
Thank you. Ordinance number 60, 2024 is now on public hearing. Those wishing to speak for it, please come forward. Those wishing to speak against it, please come forward. Hearing's closed.
Move for engrossment.
Second.
We have a motion and second to engross 60, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Call to question.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Doug Goss.
Aye.
Lucinda Wright.
Aye.
Bill Engel.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
Ann Taylor.
Aye.
Jane Bumblew.
Aye.
Justin Burkhart.
Aye.
Jerry Purcell.
Aye.
And Gary Turner.
Aye.
9 are in favor. Ordinance number 63, 2024, an appropriation ordinance amending the 2024 budget.
Who speaks to that?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
we were able to hear from Mr. Mays at the Finance Committee meeting about
It's
this.
the airport, right.
It's the airport. And this is really just an appropriation to purchase a little bit more fuel to get us to the end of 2024.
Gotcha.
And the Finance Committee was in favor of this as well.
Okay, thank you. Well then, we'll put it on public hearing. Those wishing to speak for ordinance 63, 2024, please come forward. Those wishing to speak against the ordinance, come forward. Hearing's closed.
Move for engrossment.
Second.
We have a motion and second to engross 63, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Call the question.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Doug Goss,
Aye.
Lucinda Wright,
Aye.
Bill Engel,
Aye.
Larry Parker,
Aye.
Ann Taylor,
Aye.
Jane Bumblew,
Aye.
Justin Burkhart,
Aye.
Jerry Purcell,
Aye.
and Gary Turner.
Aye.
All are in favor.
I'm not aware of any unfinished business.
Move for adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
17 minutes.
You are watching Whitewater Government Television, WGTV, Channel 11, part of the Whitewater Community Television family of stations.